Hello, Cherries, and welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, special Wednesday. It says Tuesday, but special Wednesday, episode 249. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use triads with the pentatonic scale for improvising over a blues progression. So, this is going to be really cool stuff here. And I have a little loop here that I created, couple loops. We're going to do a blues in A, then we'll switch it over to E a little bit later. But let me show you what we're going to do here today. Here we go. Here's the loop. Give you a little taste of it. All right, that's a little taste. If you're enjoying it so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, all that groovy stuff. So we have what we have here is a little blues in A, a 1-4-5, and the progression is really simple. I'll just run it by you one time here real quick. You got the one chord, banging out the A, just an A7 chord here. 4 bars, and the 5th bar goes to the D7, 6th bar, 7th bar, back to A again. Got the E7, D7, A. Here's the turnaround. On the 12th bar, E7, back to the A. It's a very common. It's not a fast 4 or a quick change. It's a just goes 4 bars on the A, on the one chord before it goes to the 4 chord right there. So that is the progression right there. And we're taking a simple approach to playing this blues here. So for the first 4 bars here, we could play the A major triad mixed along with the pentatonic scale or the blues scale. The blues being a little bit different. Let me just show you here on this bigger screen right here. The blues scale being, instead of the minor pentatonic, you just add the flat 5 inside there. It's like this. Flat 5. Here's the 5th, flat 5. Flat 5. Here's the 5th, flat 5. Gives that real bluesy sound, you know. Right there. But we're going to focus on the triad here first. Just an A triad here. Just like a E-shape chord right here. A, but it's an E shape. Like here's an E chord. You just slide all this right up to the A. Then you have the A chord right there. So if you're in this position right here, you know that you have a triad right there, like that. So over this chord, it's basically an A7 chord. Same thing as this right here, if you play it like this. You focus on this triad right here. Even throw in the 7th there. It's more of like a framework here. The 7th, the root, 7, 5, 5, 3. If you blend that with the pentatonic scale, sounds really cool and bluesy. You got to put that in there to sound blues. You know, but really what you want to do is you want to take this 3rd degree and bend it up, or a micro bend, which is not quite to the 3rd. It's like almost there, a little bit flat of the major thirds, but you're getting like the best of both worlds. You're getting a minor, A major, and you're getting somewhere in between. You're not going to land on it too long, or you're just going to sound out of tune, but it gives you the feel. You know what I mean? Kind of like this. You know what I mean? Or all the way up. That's just like perfect right there. Right? And the D. You can put a diminished there. Of the E. And turn around. So, simple little techniques right there to get you going on playing a mean major blues using triads and the pentatonic scale right there. So any questions about this stuff, please let me know. Hope you're having a good day so far. On a Wednesday, I'm just drinking some coffee here, my Italian espresso beans. So good, oh so good, keeps me awake. So keeping it simple, keeping it bluesy. So, like I was saying, over this first pass, the first 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll even put it up here on the big screen for you. So over those first four bars, I'm focusing on the A triad right there, which is the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. It's an A, C sharp, and E. And I'm also playing the pentatonic scale, which is blending up this minor 3rd to the major 3rd. And if you don't know the intervals right here, it's very important to know, like, here's your A major scale. Right? Here's the notes. You recognize that sound. But it's not the major scale we're playing here. We're doing a Mixolydian mode, which is the flat 7. Which will sound like that. But we're not really focusing on the whole scale. We're just playing the triad, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how you get the 1, 3, and the 5. And the 7 would be here. 5, 6, 7. So it's root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same here. Down an octave. Root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the chord. You want to take that major 3rd, you want to play a minor. I've played the minor chord there. Just taking that 3rd and bending up a little bit. Along with all your pentatonic licks. Which you know and love. Andreas, watching from Trier, Germany. It's great to be learning from you. Oh, thank you so much, Andreas. I've been to Germany a few times, like 4 or 5 times. To Cologne, or how you pronounce it, Köln. It's too early to pronounce that correctly. And Dusseldorf. Such a beautiful place. I enjoyed it every time that I've been out there. Really cool. And thank you. I'll give you a round of applause. Thanks for tuning in. Really, really cool of you. So yeah, so over the first 4 bars, I'm keeping it real simple, playing it. Because as you'll hear in this first 4 bars, it's an A7 chord, which is playing, emphasizing the major 3rd, emphasizing that triad. See, check it out. So I can play this triad right here. Right? Stuff like that. Really really cool. So in the middle of that, I'm taking the third degree. I'm manipulating it a little bit. Same thing up here. Here's the third here, up an octave. And I can do the same thing up here. Here's the third. Take that second. Play the blues scale. See, really, it's kind of important to land on that. You don't want to land on the minor third ever. Listen how it would sound like if you landed on the minor third on a major blues progression. Right? Hear that? You want to bend down. So, really important to feel that out. I mean, for a little bit it might sound good, but not for long. Like here, check it out. You know what I mean? I get away with it. I'm bending it up a little bit. So it's really important to keep an eye on that. Hello, Jeffrey Boyle. Good to see you. Rocking and rolling today on a Wednesday. And, okay, so first 4 bars, we're playing triads, and we're playing, emphasizing the major third, along with the blues minor pentatonic. And what's also really cool about this, too, is to take this different inversions of this triad. Like here's the first inversion. It's good to play it up to here. First inversion. So these are the same notes. You get the root, the third, the fifth. If I played the third, the fifth, and the root, you can play it up here. There's the third, the fifth, and the root. But I'm playing it here. Of course I gotta play it here, but it sounds different. And with this I'm in a different register, so I have the third again up here. So you can play within here. And you have that slide into the inversion. So it sounds like this. Put you in a different position to extend to go into the D, to the 4 chord. Look, I'm right there. And then go and play in this pentatonic shape 1 over D. Back to the A. Here I'm in E. And A. Back to where we were. So that's just by knowing a few inversions right there, which I'm going to show you in just a second. What's happening here? Andreas, I'm here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All right. So we got Germany in the house. Philadelphia, home of the Eagles. Super Bowl champion Eagles. I could say that even though I'm a Steelers fan. So it's really cool to know these inversions right there. A, you have that one. You even have one down here. Here's the root version. The A. What am I doing? Right there on the 3rd string. But we're over here in this position, so root position. First inversion right there. Then we can go up right here to the second inversion. And that's starting on the E note. It's the 5th, the root, and the 3rd. You got all different licks on each one. Each inversion has its own set of licks, really, that you could build. All right, thanks, Jeffrey. So over this first one, over the root position, you got licks like this one right here. Over this one, first inversion, you have other licks right inside here. We can manipulate the root. Hitting the A down here. These inversions are also part of different chord shapes. Look, What chord shape does that look like to you? Here's an A, but it looks like it's a C shape, like a C. You slide that all the way up to A. And all it is that there's the inversion. So instead of playing this lick here, on this string that has a certain tone and timbre, on the G string and B, come over here, you play it the same thing here. It's a little tougher sounding because I'm playing now on the G, on the D and the G string, instead of this. But I'm here. And I might want to go to the 4 chord, the D right here. Now look, I'm right there in this D. And I could play over the 4 chord. Right to the A. Sounds better to go to Pentatonic Scale. So it's cool in those inversions. There. So you can see where the roots are. A, 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 A. And down here if you wanted to. Same thing right here. Same thing as this. Taking with different string sets. So it's good to know all these inversions because you could end up in different areas all over the neck, which is really cool to do. So any questions about this stuff? And if you're enjoying this video so far, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I think I said that already. Ring the bell for notifications. So good to see you. So what are you drinking out there? I know it's beer o'clock somewhere. But I have my Italian espresso coffee beans here. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat with some coffee. Okay, so we went over the first 4 chords here. Now let's say over the 5th chords, bars. First 4 bars, then you go to the 4 chord here, right? So we went, we did 2, we played triads. 3, we played the pentatonic scale, minor bending the 3rd. Now we get to the 5th bar over D7. You want to play D7 triad right there, major triad. So it's the same thing here. If you take your D triad, check it out on the big screen here. Here's a D triad. So you went from A to a D triad. So you have your D, the 3rd, and the 5th. It's just great to know these shapes because they're the same for everything. Like if I played it here, here's an A. Here's an A, just like this. But here's D instead. Right? Now with that triad right there, you could come up with different licks and stuff over the 4 chord. Like a excuse me. Close enough for rock and roll, right? Little licks like we did on the A. Take the 3rd, root, 3rd, 5th, and take that minor 2nd, slide it into the 3rd. Or bend it. I'm playing here's the 7th. So you got the 7th and the 3rd. The tritone of the chord right there. And playing the D chord. All your licks are right there too. The root, the 3rd, 5th. You do licks like that, Utilize the 6th. flat 7th right there. Which is that note right there. All over this D in this one position. You can even go up to the different inversions right there too. Here's the root version, second inversion, another string shape. Play different licks over here that you know. You're in this E position, so you have that pentatonic shape 1. Back to the A. So that's really what you want to do over the 4 chord right there. You want to hit that triad right there. Because if you don't, I mean, a lot of people will just go ahead and play the pentatonic scale. Even if you play the A minor pentatonic and you end up on D of that scale, which is good, totally cool, but you're only targeting the root, the 2nd degree of the chord, which is E, the 4th, your 5th. So you have part of the triad there already. You do that pentatonic scale, A minor pentatonic. You already have the root, the 5th, but you have the 4th, which is not in the triad, and you have a 2nd. So it sounds like this. Sounds pretty cool. And you also have a minor over the 4 chord. You have that, the 7th already. So you can play that. Get all kinds of sounds. But if you want to emphasize the chord, you want to hit this triad to get the 3rd in there of the chord. Now a lot of people will play the D minor pentatonic, and once again, D minor, you're playing the minor 3rd of that when there's a D major chord underneath it. So it doesn't quite sound all that good. You got to be careful. Once again, you could play that, but you want to bend it up to the major 3rd a little bit more solid, because it sounds like this if you don't. Here's the 1 chord of the A. Watch what happens when you go to the D, the 4 chord, and I play D minor pentatonic. Check it out. Here it sounds. You want to go up a little bit right there. So it's really like important to keep that in mind. If you're playing over the D minor pentatonic, you're playing that note when you hear this note. So it sounds like this. That's the overall sound of what you're getting right there. There's a D, the 3rd, the minor 3rd, and there's the major 3rd. It's almost like the Hendrix chord, or the Taxman, whatever, where you have a major 3rd and a minor 3rd, but they're so close together that it rubs a little bit harder right there. It's almost like the Weezer Sweater song too, right there. So we're having a good time getting through the 4 chord, which is the 5th bar and the 6th bar. You want to just kind of go up the triads. Simplest, easiest way is to just focus on triads for this. Another D right here. Each D shape, you have different licks. I was playing this for a while. I wasn't really paying attention. I was going over there. It's a flat 5, which is cool, but it sounds better, I think, if you go all the way up to the 5th. So I'm right here in this D shape right here, and I play this lick right here where it's the root, I'm climbing up, root, minor 3rd, major 3rd, 4th, 5th, sliding from the minor 3rd to the, well, not sliding, but I'm hammering on from the minor 3rd to the major 3rd, back to the root, down to the 5th, to the 7th, or chromatically down to the 7th, and then up to here, back to the A. Here's that shape again, A. Look at this. So that's what's cool about moving in different positions, sliding into different inversions. You want to try to stay chromatic if you can. That's what's kind of cool about the sound. Getting the sound is like not doing big jumps, but kind of blending in wherever you are. Like playing over here and then jumping to the 4 chord here. That's what's cool, because you have that third of A right to the D. And if you play D diminish, or D sharp diminish, it goes right into the E, which is the 5th of A. It's chord tones. Right, from A, you drop down a half step. Now I'm in E. To A. A7, D, D sharp diminish, E7. Little cute little turnaround right there. Go Hendrix chord. Something like that, right? Did he ever play a telly? Hendrix? I hit the wrong button. Did Hendrix ever play a telly? Probably. Probably played everything. He just didn't sing with a telly that much. So, all right, we're having a good time. Any questions about this stuff, let me know. Loving some blues. You might have seen the picture of me with the hat on the thumbnail. My fedora here, you know. I don't think it'll fit over my headphones like that, right? But I love that hat. I saw it in Chinatown. I was like, I gotta have it. Everyone has to have a fedora, right? So, all right, so moving on. So 5 through 6, bars 5 through 6, 4 chord, D in this case. So now, the 7 through 8 bar, 7 through 8, just 2 bars, after the 4 chord. Right? You go back to A, which is the 7th bar in the 8th bar. And right there, you're really returning right back to where we left off. You go right back to the A triad, and then bending the minor pentatonic. And on the 9th bar, back to the 5 chord. Now right here, you're playing E7, and which really creates a strong pull down to back to the 1, which we're not quite there yet, but it's setting up for it, for that E. Now I could do all that right there in the same position. You know, a lot of times people will just jump up to where they know is easy and familiar to them, which is right here in this shape, this E minor pentatonic shape. There's just nothing wrong with that if you're down here. You can go. You know, playing E right there over that 5 chord. But once again, you know, it's an E7, so you have a major chord right there. And you're playing minor pentatonic, which is all right as well. Just like we, over the D, how we discussed that. Just be aware of that. Although it's a little less important over the 5 chord. Because that, you know, you're adding more tension. It's really like it's like a sharp 2 instead of a minor 3rd right there. Right there, like this is like a sharp 2. If you have a 3rd, major 3rd, that's a sharp 2 instead of a minor 3rd right there. Because here's the 2, you sharp it, you have that. So it's like a jazz note right there. If you go over this E7 chord, you know, if you had an E7 and you hit that G in it, it's the Hendrix chord again. But it gives you that sound, which is, you know, has some tension in it. Just hit like every note and you can't go wrong. I'm just kidding. And Jeffrey Boy was in Chinatown in Philly yesterday. I'm about to go to Chinatown, New York, shortly after this live video today. So that's cool. Very cool. I think I was there once in Chinatown in Philly. think so. Give you a round of applause for the Chinatown. Gotta love Chinatown. So going back to this E. So you're on the 5 chord. Instead of playing up here, why not play it down here? You're already here. Your hands are already comfortable in this A position. So when it goes to the 5 chord, look, here's E. You know? It's the same notes, but it's right here. Here's E. The same pentatonic scale is right here. You know? It's the same exact notes. So I go up here, the only reason because you might be more comfortable with licks there, but you know, experiment with playing here. Or, you know, find the triad, the E triad right there. A little major pentatonic action in there. Arpeggio right there. You want to do like the same type of licks here. Here's the E. Over that 5 chord. But it's only for 1 bar. That's the thing. You're in and out real quick over that 5 chord right there. I'll show you. There's 4 bars right here. 4. D, 2 bars here. Back to the 1 chord. Look, now you only have 1 bar over the E. You know, so it's really just a quick thing in there. That's why you could play a lot of different stuff over the E. You know, you have your E. You can just take it and bend up to an E once. Something like that. It's really nice to just do like a blues minor, E minor pentatonic there. And then to the 4 chord, the D, which is where we are right now. Bar 10, you have 1 bar of D, just into a triad. Right back into the A. Which resolves the whole progression on the 11th bar. So you have the bar 10, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the 5 chord, 2, 3, 4. So bars 11 and 12 is the turnaround. A, 2, 3, 4, E. There's a lot of things you could do there, but the simplest thing would be just to play the A triad. You know, you have 1 A triad for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E for 4 beats. So E. You can even go here. You know, like something like that. Play that. Which is pretty cool. You know, stuff like just tritones. Here's the A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the 1 right there. But really, all it really is playing the A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, or E7. You know, the triads is like a template. You could, you know, play your 7ths as well, like that. Back to the A. So, any questions about this stuff, please let me know. We went through 12 bars and some really cool stuff we could play in between all these bars right here. So, over the first 4 bars, I'm playing A, triads, mixing it in with the minor pentatonic scale. Taking the 3rd degree, bending it up. And blending it into the fourth chord, trying to target the four chord out of the A. So check it out. It's like stuff like, just the A triad or arpeggio. When I'm going back up to the third, I just slide up a half step to the D. Look, it's like right in between. The third of A is right in between the the seventh and the root of D triad. Look, right into the third of E, the seventh of E, D, little tritone substitution over the 5 chord. Instead of playing a B arpeggio, I played an F 7 arpeggio into the E. That's a little trick, a little next level stuff right there that I butcher most of the time. But it's good to know. And after a while, you start throwing it in there. When you get to the 5 chord, instead of playing, like in this case, the E chord, you would play like actually I played an F right there, which is a mistake. I think it was the B I was supposed to go to. And go to the tritone would be B flat. Right there. Like, right to the A. All right. Having a good time here today. Any questions, let me know. Jeffrey Boyle says, nice. The Chinatown. Have some aqua here. Water. So good. So good for you. So, knowing the triads for each chord. Very important right there. So, you know what? Let's change this up a little bit. Let's go, instead of doing it in A, how about try it in E? Mixing it up. Your favorite licks here. To A. B. E triad. It's the A. A minor pentatonic. You got the B right here, triad. So it's just the same thing. We're taking it up to the key of E, right there, and doing all the same little tricks that we did before in A. And you could do that in any progression, any key, really. Take it up to here, to this position, or down here, So if we did it right here, it's the very bottom of the fretboard right here. This E chord. Here's your triad right here. E, G sharp, and B. Okay. And when it goes to the 4 chord, here's the A chord right there like this. Here's the triad, A, C sharp, and E. That's the same shape. So when we were in A, we went like this, A to D. But now we're going E to A right there. Then when it goes to the 5 chord, here's B right here. B, A, E. And at the same time, you have the E minor pentatonic. So just with these 3 things, this shape right here, this shape right here, this shape right here, and the pentatonic scale, you could play a blues. Check it out. I'll just use just those. A triad. There's A. E triad. The B. A. Turn on. It's an inversion of the E. The third of A. All the same stuff, the same licks that we played in E. I mean, that we played in A, we're playing now in E. Just a nice little shift. And it's just going through triads. E. And all I'm doing is manipulating the third. Here's the third right here. Here's minor pentatonic with the G. But it's an E chord, E7 chord. So you can do all your licks right there. A good lick is to take the open G, manipulating minor third to major third. The 5th is a very stay still, very permanent sound right there, very fixed. So you can go up into the E note right there. Even if it's a little flat, it's okay. You know? Close enough for rock and roll? Right? Okay. So right into the A. You want to kind of transition really nicely into to the next chord. Like if I'm playing E here on the downbeat, really important to land on the downbeat on your targeted chord, your next chord. So it sounds like this right here. Right there on the downbeat, nail it. The B, A, E. Like that. Andreas, which triad can you play over an E7 chord on the 5th or 7th fret? Which triad can you play over an E7 chord on the 5th or 7th fret? Well, here's the 5th fret. You play this triad. Give you a little closer look right here. This triad, this shape, the D shape, is your 5th fret. It sounds like it's part of this chord right here, the C shape E. Just like that. And if you want to play the 7th, so here's the 5th the root, and the third. It's a second inversion. Seventh, E7 right there. So here's the first inversion. Down here, E. Go up to here. Then you have another one up here, the 7th and 9th fret. You have the root, major third, and the 5th. You can take that root, go down to a 7th, dominant 7th, and you have, if you go down, back to the A, you have a chromatic note. Back to A. Back to the E right there. Right? So here's E. So that's why I was saying it's good to know the inversions of each chord. You have the E, 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 and E again. And there's only 3 of them because you have 3 notes you're inverting. Starting on the roots, root, 3rd, 5th. Then you have 3rd, 5th, root. You're just rotating them. 3rd, 5th, root. And over here you have 5th, root, 3rd. 3rd, 5th, root. And what's cool about this is that each one of these inversions leads to the next chord in those inversions. So if you're down here, the A is right here, first inversion. If you're up here playing on this E, you can play the A right here, because you're right next to it. And then play that A. Right there. And where's the close E right here? Well, there's E right there, same thing right here. I played more of a full. I used the D string to part of this C-shaped chord. And then when it goes to the B chord, if you're right here, you could always think, well, where's the closest B in this area? Right here. And the closest B is probably right here. Look, it's just dropping. There's a B. Second inversion. Because there's the 5th, the root, and the 3rd. It looks like that. A. In this position. And the E. E7 right there. E. But the cool thing is to know like different licks in these different positions. Here, you're in the root E position, so you have that first pentatonic position. Up here in this E, one of my favorite licks is like this. You know, because you have these. And over here, I have a lick that's like my favorite. It's like, you know. And up here, same thing, pentatonic. Here's the A. Back to another E right here. That shape right there. First, the root version. And the 5 chord's coming to B. So hopefully you get some of that. All right. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Having a good time with me here on a Wednesday. What is going on a Wednesday? Well, I couldn't do it Sunday like I usually do. Couldn't do it Monday because I was flying home. And I couldn't do it yesterday, Tuesday, because I was working some other thing all day yesterday, so here I am today. Wednesday. So we do it, like I said, always try to do it on Sundays, but then we just gradually shift it down into the week if we have to. I mean, I'd much prefer doing it every Sunday and being like right there, but at least we're doing it once a week, and which is really cool. So thank you so much. Now I've learned something important again. All right. Well, that's awesome. I'm grateful to hear that. Give you a round of applause. That's what it's all about. You learn something every day. I'm trying to offer some things that you could take and just use and throw it in there right away. And that's what we want, right? We want to find something that we could that grabs us, something that's like, wow, I understand what's going on there. I want to, apply this to my playing and just throw it in there. And if what I'm doing today is really helping you and inspiring you, if you see something and it's working, that's great. I mean, it seems like it's pretty basic stuff, but not everyone knows this, and I didn't always know this stuff, but it's nice to be able to be a little fluid with it. And but really the hard part in the blues is in any kind of blues is the feel part of it, right? I mean, Jimi Hendrix said blues is easy to play, hard to feel, and that is the truth, because it's not all about just the notes and the positions in this. It's actually making it cry, making it sound like the blues, so that's the important part right there. My knees hurt. What's happening? So good to see you there. What kind of music does your band play? Well, I am in a tribute to ABBA. And it's a band from Sweden. Most of them are from Sweden, and it's called Direct from Sweden, the music of ABBA. And we play, guess what we play? We play ABBA. So it's basically this song, You know what song that is. A lot of great songs that ABBA has. So I've been touring around for a few years now with this band, and it's a lot of fun. I do a lot of before the show, I'll do a little show and tell of the stage. We play beautiful theaters all across the country. It's really, really impressive places that we play. And I do like a little show and tell of the stage. So if you want to see some of that during the show, just friend me on Facebook, Cherry, or LinkedIn. I post all over there, so you can see a lot of cool stage stuff from there as well. And I've been playing some of my own music before the shows, like in the venues, posting a different song of mine, which is really important to me and really cool. So you could check that out as well. But we're having a good time here today playing the blues, right? Because the blues is the foundation of mostly all music, right there. Ollie Oxenfree, Take a Chance on Me. Well, I know Take a Chance on Me, but I didn't know that Ollie Oxenfree was part of that song. But it's a nice rhyme, for sure, Yeah, for sure. So we switch it from A to the key of E. You could do it in any key, really. We'll keep it still in E here for a bit. And so what a lot of people do is they'll play the minor pentatonic scale for the entire progression. But it's nice to switch to the triads. For soloing, you can match the chords underneath it, which is cool. Because, you could take the same progression right here, right? And do stuff like this. Say you're in E. I just played the E minor pentatonic scale over the whole thing, pretty much. I mean, I cheated a little bit and I played some triads there, but it sounds a little, it's cool, and it's important because it allows you to play the blues, because that's what the blues is. The blues is taking those pentatonic shapes and blues scales, and just bending the heck out of it, playing like a... Really just not thinking too much about chord tones and this and that, and just strangling the guitar neck for that, right? That one bad note I hit in there, I don't know where I was going with that. But you get the drift with that. But also understanding the triads that go with each chord. And combining all of them, which is really the art to the whole thing, combination of all that stuff in there. Ace of Base was supposed to be the next ABBA, yeah. But what happened is they saw a sign and it opened up their eyes and they realized that they were not going to be the next ABBA. But they had some cool songs too. That their one big hit was they had a couple of big hits, but the one was like a. It's like, which one is I Saw a Sign, right? Opened up my eyes, I saw the sign. It's really cool. Like, they're genius songwriters. There's something in the water over there in Sweden. I don't know the guy's name, but was Max something? He's the producer. He has like 100 number one hits under his belt, right, for other people, Britney Spears and everything. And of course, Bjorn, who's the character I play in the band, the guitar player, and I sing some songs in there as well. And but something in the water. They say there was something in the water that night. The stars were bright. That's not Fernando. Sounds great. Jeffrey Boyle at Jeffrey Boyle. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. We're having some fun here today. We're going to wrap it up soon. But any questions about this stuff, let me know. We're playing some blues and having a good time. So if you take anything out of this hour lesson here today, is that take these triads, whatever key. We'll go back to A here. And we played an A. And you start off right here in this position that you know and love. A minor pentatonic shape. And you learn the triad right here next to it. The A major triad right here. Well, don't just stick with this one right here. Go up to here. To the first inversion. Learn some licks here. Or play the pentatonic scale right there. That's a really cool thing about the cage system right here. Here's the A minor chord. arpeggio. Here's A major, A minor. Blend the two together. You know, right there. So that's all part of this. And then right here, same thing up here. Learn some licks up in this A shape, A. So that when it goes to the D, you're right here in a cool shape that you know. And check it out, look here. How do I get down to A, back from the 4 chord? Look, half step down is the 3rd of A. Look, here's the 7th of A. Goes to the 5 chord E. Half step up, right to the 3rd of E. The cool thing about playing these triads a lot, you start to really hear the chord. You start to go out of tune easily. Check it out. Hold on a second. Close enough, rock and roll. Right there, E. So A. 4 chord. E. Back to the 1 chord. From your 5 chord. Right there. Man. Sorry with that. Right there. Man. Yeah, close enough. A. Here's an E. Get a little warm in here. All right. Sorry about all that tuning nonsense. Tuning's overrated. So yeah, if you take anything out of that, learn the inversions of here and here, and then with the 4 chord, and over the 5 chord. So wherever you are, you could land somewhere cool. Like if you're here, land here on the D. And then, you know, A, D, jump up here, back to A. Here's the way of going to A. To the D. 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 A. Even A here. And play E right here. Then D. A. Oops. Play licks like that inside there. It's all from the triads and blending triads along with pentatonic scales right there. So, all right. And if you have some time, I do have a guitar course you could check out. You could, you know, go to the link in the description and just check this out. It's a 4-part course. Deals with fretboard memorization. Shows you how to easily access notes all over the fretboard. The circle of fifths, where you have all different chord progressions, and you can see how they all connect to each other. Blues soloing, kind of like what we're doing right now, but there's lots of backing tracks and PDFs. And I go over the cage system, which is all these shapes and chords all over the place in a progression type of way, which is really useful and helpful. So there's a link in the description for that. Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. So please check that out. Grateful for that. Thank you very much. So get rid of that. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today on a Wednesday. Really appreciate you. Love yous all. My knees hurts. Andreas from Germany really got the blues. I know. Is that a good thing? You got the blues? Of course it is. Jeffrey Boyle, really appreciate you guys hanging out with me here. And everybody else who's watching, and everybody else who's watching in the future, the immediate future, the extended future. Thank you very, very, very much for that. And I usually go live every Sunday, but today's Wednesday. Let's see how we look for next week here. I think, once again, I'm doing a gig on Sunday, so it's going to be Monday. Then the following few Sundays, it's going to be back to Sunday, or the following few weeks. So this coming week, or next week, it's going to be on Monday. Then after that, it'll be Sundays for a couple weeks. So that's all good. And yeah, it'll be rocking. Tomorrow night will be fun. The Steelers play Thursday Night Football. Jeffrey will be excited about that, seeing my Steelers. So have a great week, guys. I love yous. And, remember here, I just want to tell you that there is another video here that you can check out when you get some time. Thank you, Andreas. Really cool. Glad you appreciate that. I am grateful for that. So remember, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. And if you want to see another video on how to use triads to play a minor blues solo, which is very, very cool, I'll put that right up there. Have a great rest of the week. I'll see you Monday. So be cool. Love yous. Rock on. And when he said, meant to say, sounds great, dear Cherry. Rock and roll. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.